Hello.
From Rotary. Samantha sent me that fact sheet, and I forwarded it to you. I just want to make sure you got it. I thought maybe you want to put it up there while we're having fellowship or something. Okay, he's not here, so Kirk Alexander, yeah. Well, I didn't know that, so okay. I'm just saying I'm here. Could you forward it to the computer maybe, because I didn't know Kirk Alexander was in charge, so I only sent it to you and Kirk Holmes. Yeah, it says I have no reception in this room. Okay. They never have luck with him. Well, he said he can't forward it, and he thought I knew. How would I know that you're in charge this week?
So Holmes is like
I never have luck. I never have luck with Steve. I swear to God. No. I'm sure he is. I'm wondering if I do find the email, could I forward it to your the fact sheet up on the screen? I have to go find it. How can I reach Samantha and ask her? Because I'm like, Sue and I do not.
That's okay.
I have her email because it won't forward from my phone, the attachment. So we could always send her an email if we knew.
Yes, I'll make the same offer to you. Would it be more convenient for you to introduce the speaker if you were sitting up at the head table? Sure. You're welcome to sit at the head table.
Yeah, I'll move over.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Wait, is this me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's my word. I like to Yeah, it was this really cool fact sheet.
Ah, you heard that, right?
Oh, I found it.
That's it. Good.
Okay, so if I send this to your email, is this your computer?
Send
Oh,
it to refinance man.
see, I forgot that one. No, because it's a different email. I used to send that emails to that all the time. Okay, you just see if you have it. Yeah. Your face always itches. I always have to.
Doesn't it though? I mean, this is ridiculous.
So when you're in charge
I
of
can really mess with people right now because my favorite dog is
oh, you can. Go ahead. Does Richard do the videos in the beginning, like, like Jackie used to do?
Yeah, what he did. Yeah.
No, he does like.
Yeah, they'll all be, we're zooming and having like.
No, I mean, like before lunch started, there was always like, no, Jim Cole used to do it. I know Jackie did it. But it used to be just different slides and whatever.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, I emailed you.
I don't know what it is. Okay. What is it?
Oh, you can put that up. It's a sheet of fun facts about Allegiant Stadium.
Oh. Okay.
So check your email.
Okay.
something Jenna wanted me to put on the screen here, it looks like.
Okay. So are you ready for me to ring the bell?
You can ring the bell. Yeah, we're really ready to go.
Richard, you have time. It's only 12:06. Did you not?
I know it says officially review.
That's perfect.
You can answer.
Yeah, what you want?
Also, she's like, it's a small crowd. There's not as much networking. Yeah, I thought that would be. Yeah, I thought that'd be cool. I was just. This is in case they don't know. This is fact sheet. For Allegiancy, we should just go back to
So yeah, you're set. Something German, right?
He wants to know, see the bottom middle? What is that? Nazi. What's Nazi? The bottom middle says they have 27,000.
I muted the room in case we all want to talk to each other while we're waiting for them to get started. So you guys want to go off mute, you can. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, Stu. How are you?
Surviving. I'm finding
Hi,
new
Stu.
new and better takeout places to make delivery of food to me. So that's kind of exciting.
That is fun. So I had a really good meal on my birthday from Paymon's. Have you used them yet? The Mediterranean place?
No, but it's now been added to my list. So.
Yeah. They have Italian, Greek, and Indian food. And I got mostly Greek food, and it was delicious. It was very good for takeout.
Yeah, I've seen them. I actually haven't seen them advertised, but they've been involved in like a number of different charitable activities and stuff. So I've seen them in the news, and I did look at their menu. It looked very interesting. The eclectic mix of stuff.
Right. Hi, Ginger.
Hi there. How are you?
Good.
It's nice to have this option to chat. That was a great idea, Stu.
Yeah, the one of the issues is that once they broadcast our audio into the room, which they're probably doing now, when they break for lunch, it would be very disruptive to them if we continued to chat. So Kirk Holmes is away on vacation for a few weeks in Georgia visiting Becca's family. He says when he gets back, he'll work out a way in which when they break for lunch, they can mute the audio in the room, and then we can chat to each other. But we can do it before the meeting starts. So
That's great.
it's not quite the same. Although Lowry's is making
No, but
deliveries, maybe we should arrange to have them simultaneously delivered to each of our respective locations while the meeting's going on.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we've taken out from them a couple times. They had some really nice specials, and I think it's Grubhub or Postmates or somebody. No, it's DoorDash. DoorDash does their deliveries, so we usually get it 15 minutes after we place the order because we're fairly close.
Oh, that's great.
You know who Samantha is?
Hi guys, I'm the speaker from Allegiant Stadium.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
So nice to meet everyone virtually.
Samantha, you're going to be presenting your slides from your computer?
Yeah, I'll be presenting. I have some videos and a few cool things to show.
Okay, yeah. Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. I'm sure by the time you're ready to speak, I'll have found the right button.
So I think actually, can I do a quick test while we're just here together?
Yeah. Let me just look here. Multiple participants, advanced one participant. I think, yeah, give it a try. See if that works. It should work. Share screen.
Okay. Host disabled. Oh, you have to enable screen sharing from a participant.
Okay, let me see if yeah, I was afraid of something like that. Let me look down here. Advanced sharing options. Oh, here we go. All participants. There we go. 1 second. Who can start sharing? One participant at a time. Okay, I think I did it. Give that a try.
Let's see.
We're still in learning mode here.
We are too. Did that work?
Yeah, it looks like something's happening. Yeah, we've got it. So if you go to full screen mode, I think we'll be good.
Full screen mode.
So you see the little where your cursor is to the right. There's a like an open box, a little bit to the right of your cursor.
Oh, okay. So I got it. So you're
Yeah,
seeing
right,
my
right.
full screen here, right?
Yeah, now we got it. Full
Okay,
screen.
and then if I got a few things to present. So you see this okay, and then if I go here, you can see this screen as well.
Yes, we can. Yep, that's good.
Okay, and let me do one more. If I pull this up, can you see this okay?
We can. That's a very, very nice piece of pavement.
Nice piece of 95,000 square feet of concrete.
That's the tailgate area.
It could be, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, great. So we have everything prepped.
Okay. So let me see what's actually happening in the room there. We looks like Richard is coming up on the screen, so I'm going to unmute him. And I guess the rest of us should stay muted then.
that all my dreams come true as I watch the life unfold through eyes wide with amazement. Let me awake and see the beauty in me, through me, and that surrounds me. Let me hear the joyful sound of music that makes my heart sing. Let me be thankful for friendship that lovingly embraces me. Let me always remember the caring made for me to see. Let me thank God now for my health, sharing my wealth through my desire to serve others. And together we affirm our good, our God, and sing.
Amen. Kirk, if you would please sing the patriotic song today.
Be happy to. Can I take my mask off?
As we raise our voices in song, God bless
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. The other thing I liked about that video clip is it reminded me that there was a time when 50,000 of us could get together.
So, Mr. President, did you see the USA, the article in the USA today? There's a startling revelation. Apparently, Las Vegas casinos are a place where there's a great possibility of the spread of COVID-19. How about them apples?
What do they know at USA Today? Thank you very much to Kim and Kathy for the setup and the greeters, to Judith for the invitation. Mike, thank you for being Sergeant at Arms. Please continue to monitor the Facebook feed. Steve, thank you for being our paparazzi today. And Jenna, our scribe. And Kurt Alexander, thank you very much for filling in. Kurt, the other Kurt, is on vacation. Do we have any guests or visiting Rotarians?
Mr. President, I have as my guest my son David, who works in the Rotary real estate.
Thank you.
Renee would like to say hello to Rotary as well as hello to Jana.
We have one more guest down front.
Oh. So short, they didn't see you.
Hello, everyone. I have a guest today, which is Caitlin Turbidich. She's with Union Mortgage, and she is visiting our club and considering an application to join. This is her second visit.
And Mike, would you please take the microphone over to Joan Murdoch, who's not actually a visiting Rotarian, but has not been with us for quite some time, and we're thrilled to see her. We're thrilled to see her back.
Hi, everybody. Down home, I'm getting ready. So we're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
In terms of announcements for today's meeting, the District 5300 District Governor passed along the information that it is almost certain that there will not be a Rose Parade in January of 2021, or at least not a Rotary float in the Rose Parade in January, this coming January. But they are transferring all of the money and all of our Rotary position in the parade to 2022. And so for the people in the club who are anxious to join the District 5300 efforts for the Rotary Rose Parade float, don't lose heart, just be patient. It'll be a year further down the road. They also mentioned that there is a District 5300 Lebanon Disaster Relief Fund. If you are interested in providing support to the Disaster Relief Fund for the people in Lebanon, please go to the district5300.org website, and you'll find a place there to contribute. Jackie, past President Jackie Thornhill, I believe, has some announcements about other district grants.
Hi, everyone. Still looking for people to drive for our district project on September 15th, Delivering with Dignity. We've got everything set up. We have our waivers, FAQs that I can send you. We have about 20 people so far. We need a minimum of 35. We're looking at a total of 8 clubs, but I figured our club would be one of the highest represented. So let me know if you want to drive September 15th between 11 and 1. You'll get an assignment at a restaurant to pick up about 5 meals, and you'll get the addresses to deliver them to you with social distancing and everything. And the second thing is that the Freon project, our environmental sustainability project, we have a location now. Jim Marsh has nicely consented to let us use his Centennial, I believe, here for us to gather the canisters. And there's going to be a training next week. It's only 6 to 8, about 100 pounds. And we're going to get some, I'm going to call Channel 13 and have them come over and give us some coverage there for both Rotary as well as Jim Marsh contributing to environmental sustainability. Don't have a specific day yet, but please let me know if you'd like to help us out.
And Jackie, while you have the microphone, I know a number of the members of our club participated in the district president's advance conference last year and might be interested in participating. Do we have a date yet in October for that?
For President's Advance?
Yes.
I think they were mentioning it. I don't think, it's going to be virtual if it's going to be anything.
Oh, is it? Okay.
The thing I'm looking forward to right now is the district dinner, which is going to be our district awards, as well as the governor's bell. We're still waiting for that for my year, so we'll let you know about that as soon as we can.
Thank you. Other Rotary International virtual events that you might be interested in. There will be a Polio Plus webcast on August 24th. So that's what, 2 weeks, at 6 p.m. And if you're interested in participating in that webcast and finding out more about what the status is of our Polio Plus efforts, go on to DAC-PB and you find the registration there. If you register, you sent the link to participate in that webcast.
Also joining, go ahead. Also joining us, you'll notice, so we've got Stewie Lipoff, we've got some other folks that I can't see their names, but you know who they are. Thanks for joining in remotely. Thomas.
We have a number of past presidents up there.
Very impressive.
Indeed. And I see Jim Hunt's name there. I'm thrilled that he was willing to stick with us even after we showed a patriotic song from Yankee Stadium. And if you want equal time, that same singer delivered that same song in Fenway Park a few years later. So Jim, if you're really feeling put out that we use Yankee Stadium, let me know. And we'll
There he is.
All right, Jim. A number of you have sent me information for imposing fines on other club members. Thank you for doing that. The people to be fined are not here today, so we'll hold them for another week. But as you come up with clippings out of the newspaper or other on the internet, please let me know, and we're happy to find people. With that, we take two.
Yes, it's not me. Am I supposed to, you're supposed to pick one out, or pick one out? You can. Your next genre would be silly. Send a video, right? Yeah, exactly. I know. Okay, cut out. Drum roll. Okay, I'm gonna pull out the winner.
Do we have any blind people here today that could pull the tickets? Totally,
So it's almost there.
Oh, that wasn't fair. What? You got a winner? Tina. What? She needs to buy things. It's Tina's fault. Hang on a second. Let's put that Tina back in. Who wants to buy? John. Right. Oh. Oh, now you really have. Oh, she wants to pull. She wants to pull. I'm sorry. John wants to pull the winning pitch. I'm going to give you. Oh.
So for a chance to pull one of the two jokers out of the new deck, because we're starting with a new deck today since we had a winner last week, Ticket number 8138927. 38927.
So you paid to come to Rotary meetings.
Okay, Shelby. All right, Joker. You're on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And here's the second one, Richard.
So how much is in the pot right now, Mr. President?
And for a chance to win Lowry's bucks.
No, not a chance.
They get
They get them.
Yeah.
Not, they don't have a chance to get them. They have to get them.
Well, if they have the right ticket, they do. 8138874.
Down.
8138874.
874, last three numbers. Anyone? Bueller?
Well, again, okay, sorry. Got it? Yeah.
Let's try 8138864.
Last three numbers, 864.
Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations.
Bill, turn around. Hold up those cards. Thank you.
With that, please enjoy your lunch.
If you guys in Lowry's can hear us, this is we're the Zoom contingent here. Will we be bothering you if we talk among each other? And if so, can you disconnect us from the house audio until the speaker comes on?
I don't think they're listening.
Well, then let's talk among ourselves, and if they start complaining, we'll complain. You know. So, Jim, you must be mourning the Red Sox at this point, right?
I am, and I wouldn't have brought them up unless he did. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've
We're
got it
so
pretty.
bad, it's not even funny.
You got it visible in your background there, so you know
I
what
do,
can
but
I say?
I'm ready to change at any given moment to what's more current. So
Like the Yankees,
The Bruins.
like the Bruins.
Okay, the
Bruins are doing good.
Bruins are doing good. They're moving on to the next round. Be taking on, I guess, Tom, you're a quasi Tampa Bay fan, probably, right? From the Florida connection. Tom?
Yeah, my dad is.
Your dad is, yeah. Yeah.
He watches all sports.
Yeah. Hockey's been pretty exciting to watch the last couple of weeks. It's been fun. I've watched, I think, more hockey than I have in the last few years, even though I love the game, but I usually don't watch the other teams. But what else can you watch right now for sports, right? So
Are they doing the virtual stadiums where they put the cutouts in the seats and stuff? I haven't seen any.
They've got screens all throughout the stadium, and they show different highlights from each team and things, but not the fans, no. But that sport's so fast and exciting. I think it's the only one you can watch and not really, it's not detrimental that there aren't fans in the stadium like with the other sports.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
I
none
thought-
of you bring up how great the rugby has been now that the rugby is back. You guys been following that?
I have not seen a rugby game in a while. But you know what, Michael? Someday you got to maybe host a little rugby game and teach us all the rules so we can better understand it and maybe become more of a fan.
Well, it's all about the beer after the game, right?
Well, you just got me signed up, so.
I can handle that.
Yeah.
We can do a virtual watch party on some of these things too, where we show something on one of the screens and then the rest of us kibitz with each other.
That's true.
I just did a movie with a group of family members.
Nice. And the rugby is only back because in New Zealand, they had the 102 days without, an infection, and in Australia. But now New Zealand is infected again. So they actually had spectators at their rugby games. But this final game, they had to shut it down again. But the players are still in their bubble. So yeah, so it's interesting how every country is trying to handle this.
Yeah, I think didn't Australia just lock down the entire country again, where you have a stay-at-home order or something? I wasn't following it really closely, but
yeah, New Zealand has I don't know about Australia, but in Auckland, the team in Auckland, they're not allowing spectators, but in the other parts, in the South Island and the other cities on the North Island, because they've been so diligent, people can still move around and actually attend these games. So it's interesting how they're handling it, but every country is doing the best they can, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Australia was completely clear, and then one person developed a case in Melbourne. I'm trying to resurrect what I had read in the paper, and they did this incredibly extreme, shut the entire country down, nothing allowed to be open. You're allowed out 1 hour a day, that sort of thing. I mean, I guess they're just waiting, 2 weeks to make sure that there wasn't any community spread from the one case. So they're pretty draconian.
Jim, you probably saw the ESPN Ocho. I saw some cornhole. I saw some stair climbing where they were spraying water on the stairs, and these people, had to, and soap, right? It was these slippery stairs where people had to go up. It was, it was typical ESPN Ocho. It's crazy, crazy stuff that.
Sounds like a risk management nightmare, though.
Yeah.
Michael, when you speak, I feel like we have the James Earl Jones of Rotary, and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Thanks. I take that as a compliment.
It totally is. Just think how much money you could make as the deep voice of Rotary. Just James Earl Jones made millions with that.
So next time you guys cannot go to sleep, just let me read you some bedtime story. I'll zoom you in when I read the stories to Samuel, all right? And you guys can all sit in and go to sleep.
I think that would be entertaining. Why not?
I won't rock you guys. That's where I draw the line, right?
Have you guys seen the public service announcement, which is, how to be a good parent? And they have a father reading the instructions on how to install the wax seal underneath the toilet seat to the daughter late at night. Have you seen that? It's really funny because he gets about halfway in and she says, "Isn't this something about like doing some home repairs?" And he says, "Do you want me to stop?" And she says, No, I want to see how it ends.
Nice. Well, it's nice to see Melanie's smiling face. I recognized her at the grocery store the other day. The first recognition I've ever had of anyone with a mask on. I saw her a couple of times, and I'm like, Melanie?
Yeah, it took a minute, and then we finally recognized each other.
Yeah.
So our local branch bank, we wanted to go in there because the ATM was out of money, and they had all the doors locked and they wouldn't let anybody in. And I was thinking to myself, maybe it's because they don't want people walking into a bank with a mask on. I have no idea.
Well, I go to the office a couple of days a week, and I actually work in a bank building, and the signs outside say, mask required. And it's just every time I walk in there, I'm just like, I'm walking into a bank with a mask on. And it's just the weirdest thing.
It's got to be great if you're in the Willie Sutton business, I guess.
Did you see where the one, I guess, I don't know if it was a sheriff or something like that down in Florida, I guess, mandated that you must remove your mask before you go into the station? That's a different one. You must remove it before you enter.
That's if you go in the police station, yeah.
Yeah, it's the police station, I think, or something, the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Completely insane.
So in South Africa, they're on lockdown too, and they have actually prohibited the sales of cigarettes and alcohol. So they say, the government is saying that alcohol leads to more, domestic violence, and so they're trying to curb that, while people are under stress. But the smokers, the cigarette smokers, are saying, we're already under stress. You're causing us more stress by not giving us cigarettes. We need cigarettes.
I think the drinkers would say the same thing.
So what's the issue with the cigarettes? That you're blowing a lot of aspiration out into the air? Is that the idea?
Yeah, they're just saying it's spreading and it's not good for your own health. But I mean, people are up in arms, right? So there's always something that they're trying to prevent and help, and somebody will find a way around it. So people are, making their own wine and smoking all kinds of stuff. So who knows? If you need to do it, you need to do it.
You need the tobacco. So my son is in Singapore. He's living there for a number of years now. They went down to 0, and then all of a sudden it started spiking, and they found out that it was in a community of migrant Bangladeshi workers who were brought in to do menial labor, and they all live in a dormitory, and it spread through there like wildfire. Almost everybody got infected, but they're all young and healthy, so there were 0 deaths, but these people were spreading it throughout the country. So they've locked down that facility, and now they're pretty much back to normal. People have to wear masks when they're outside, but all the bars and restaurants are open, and there's no social distancing once you go inside. So I don't know, what I guess if you have this very severe kind of contact tracing where you actually know who's infected and you can isolate them, you can control it within the country, but we don't have that discipline here in the US.
Well, UNLV starts on Monday. So next week there'll be all these welcome back parties, just like at Notre Dame and UNC. So if you guys want to be part of the spread, I can always invite you to one of those parties, right?
Yeah, well, at least it's a closed community, right? And they're young people, so it's actually a terrible thing to say, but if you're young and healthy with a chances of no chance of a bad outcome, it actually works everybody's favor to get all the people in that community to be infected, because once they get over it, they don't spread it anymore. So that's how the virus ultimately, these epidemics eventually end. It either kills the people who can't handle it, or everyone else who can handle it gets infected. So we certainly need to protect the most vulnerable, like me. But the young and the healthy, they should do their patriotic duty and go out and get infected, get over it.
We should just make a little clip of that. Stu Lipoff says everybody should go out and get infected.
That's right. I can see it in the headlines now. It's not gonna help my preferred presidential candidate to use that as a rallying slogan, I guess. But it is true. When they started this, the whole idea was to prevent the hospitals from being overloaded, and so the slogan was slow down the spread, with never really an intent to kind of prevent everybody from becoming infected. And now it's turned into we just can't, we have to keep anyone from possibly getting exposed to it at all, which means that the virus never disappears unless we have a vaccine. and that's not a good thing. You guys see some of the latest research that's been reported out of the University of Southern California about what are called nanobodies. They're a form of antibody that comes from animals like llamas and camels.
Llamas.
Yeah, this is for real. Apparently, these are unlike human antibodies, which are very complex and very fragile and difficult to package and distribute. These nanobodies from the llamas are extremely simple and very robust. They can be freeze dried and so on and so forth. And they've engineered them to inactivate the virus. So they great results in animal testing. But of course, they got to go through all the trials before they can release it for human. But the preferred use of it is as a prophylactic, where you would spray it into your nose not before you become infected, and it would basically inactivate the virus as it tries to enter your body. So it's not a treatment, it's not a vaccine, but with regular use, they say people could resume near normal activities if they can actually get this approved. So, with all these different things that are in the works between a vaccine and treatment and prophylactics, and maybe it won't be forever that we have to worry about this.
Yeah, so
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I don't.
No, it's not. It wasn't meant to be funny. It's
No, I know that, but I mean, one could be created quite easily, and a couple came to mind.
Yeah. Well, we just have to watch Saturday Night Live. I'm sure they're going to end up doing something with.
I mean, those things aren't going to be sponsored by Trojan or anything like that, right? The nose condom, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they could do a combination product that they can sell for various purposes. I don't know. I'm trying to watch the window that says Kirk on it, which is the room. So when Richard comes back up there, we'll unlock the audio from there. And Samantha Johnson is our speaker. I don't know if you were on. She's online too. She's going to talk about the stadium.
So I sent the email to Jim and Tom Krob and Kurt Combs and everybody about the Big Smoke cigar thing that's canceled for later this year. So Jim and Randy and Tom Krob, you guys need to order or organize another cigar social. We need to organize our own Big Smoke, right? And raise some money for the foundation.
A virtual one, you mean?
Yeah.
Virtual one, yeah, we could do the virtual one for sure. I don't know about, especially in light of what you just said about South Africa. Is it South Africa that's doing the banning the smoking? I don't think they'd approve of our cigar fellowships either.
Yeah, they won't, but luckily we're not there, right?
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, I did some work for 20th Century Fox on what they called smell-o-vision, where you actually deployed in the theater the ability to basically create olfactory kinds of experiences while you were watching the movie. So we can extend that to our computer. We can just have the computer overload and generate a little smoke during the virtual cigar sessions.
There you go.
I've seen some ads for like wine tasting and whiskey tasting that you could do virtual, and they send each participant the thing, the box, and so everybody has the same box, and then everything's done virtually. So maybe we can look into something like that where we're all kind of experiencing the same thing and going over that, and then obviously the cigars that for those that enjoy that thing.
We just did a cocktail session where you mix along with the bartender and taste the different drinks. It was organized by whoever the distributor of the various spirits were. and that was really fun. Gin and vodka and Japanese rice wine and a few other things. And yeah, we got the kit in the mail along with instructions about what to get from Whole Foods, like some cucumbers for the gin and some other stuff. And we followed along and tasted.
That sounds like a really good idea. A lot of fun. I mean, that would be a neat talk about a good startup business. Do a wine tasting or something like that with 6 different wines, and Rotary says we want, our club says we want 75 people signed up. We could have a heck of a party like that virtually. That'd be fun.
And if our speaker gives us the right background, we can all stand on the roof of the new stadium and have our wine, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know whether we could do it, but it would be kind of fun to see whether we could get a distributor like package little airline size, verge bottles of wine and like send a kit of 6 different bottles out for tasting purposes. Or
right.
I mean, the airlines have it, so somebody must be bottling it, making it up, a glass and a half worth, per bottle.
Total Wine has tons of the little miniature, like you get on the airplane, all different kinds of liquors. So worst case, we could make our own packets.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, certainly they do it for spirits. I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it for fine wines though. Maybe they do, who knows? That'd be kind of fun to look into.
I'd be willing to take little sips of wine, put it in my mouth and spit it out into little bottles and then ship it to you guys. If that
would... Thank you.
Ew.
No. So I am really impressed with how creative people are. My wife has been paying an internet influencer for chair yoga, I guess they call it, where you it's minimal kind of stuff where you use a chair as a prop to stretch and do various stuff on. But this is a woman who's been running in-person classes, and obviously that died up. So she started doing it over the internet, and she now has a larger group of people who are enrolled in her chair yoga sessions than she ever had physically in her basement where she was doing it before. So I guess for some people it's an upside.
Becca Holmes started doing some yoga online. I never got a chance to take one of her classes, but yeah, she's doing that too. So there's opportunities for some stuff. And then, the entertainment industry was out yesterday, doing their little march because, like they don't know what to do. They can't, there's no live events till next year. So
there was something in the newspaper about the star from Jersey Boys, forget his name now, who did a drive-in performance at a large parking lot, and then it was an article in the Review Journal, and they were saying that why not do more of those where you could use the big parking lot next to Circus or Commercial Center where you could set things up and have a big screen and broadcast to the car radios that are parked out there. It's a pity that there are no more real drive-in theaters left where, you're already set up for that. But boy, that a drive-in theater is like the perfect thing for the time of COVID.
Baby. Hi, baby.
I can't drink yet, but that sounds like a great idea.
The main reason I want to do is I got a great picture of them. I'm going to share that with you guys. Is this what they call work-life balance? Is that what this is?
Quite literally.
Yeah, I kept trying not to get freaked out about this whole school thing, but we started doing some orientations and some stuff this week, and yeah, now I'm scared. I don't know how this school thing's going to work, but I guess we'll do what we can.
There's something really weird going on when the private schools seem to have no problem opening physically. The science says the kids don't have bad outcomes, and yet the Clark County School District doesn't seem to be able to handle in-person classrooms. There's a big disconnect somehow.
No, Richard's heading back.
I think Richard is coming back, so we probably all go on mute and then bring him back on.
Can anyone hear Richard?
I cannot. He's able to unmute, but he has to do it himself manually.
Is there anybody we can send a message to that can maybe unmute it over there? Or I'm going to text Russ. He just texted me. I'll ask him to tell him to unmute the computer up there.
I believe it's Kirk Anderson's computer. Kirk Alexander, sorry.
I just sent that to Russ. We'll see if he gets that to Kurt, hopefully.
Okay.
Stu, can you unmute everyone as the host?
Yeah, I've done that. I can give everybody the ability to mute and unmute, and I can disconnect anybody. But if he's muted locally, I can't make it unmute. He's did it. Okay, we're good.
All right, and thank you to everyone for staying involved, staying engaged, getting the word out. Obviously, it's challenging, but we're hanging in there. With that, Janice, if you'd like to come introduce our speaker this week.
Samantha, we're finally here. Yay! Welcome, Theodora. This is exciting. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Samantha Johnson, the Director of Sales for Legion Stadium. She has extensive experience in event sales, and she has been in NFL stadiums over 10 years. I know you love full stadium buyouts, but we'll get there one day. And you can read her bio, which is very impressive. And I also want to introduce Laura Gladstone. Yeah. She's the Director of Marketing for the stadium, and she's a force in the marketing world with extensive experience promoting tours, building the brand strategy, and most recently leading the change in debuting Allegiant Stadium to Las Vegas. Working in LA and New York for prominent companies such as Live Nation and AGI. Laura has made her mark specializing in cultivating creative ideas with the goal of selling out major venues and creating engaging content. Her current role at Allegiant Stadium consists of numerous interesting and unique projects such as developing the opening campaigns, managing the communication strategy, and working hand in hand with the Raiders to support their initiatives. So welcome. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hello. Thank you for the intro, Janice. I just got to say that when Janice asked me to speak with you, I think it was back in, it had to have been March or April, and I remember we were standing in, the stadium was just concrete and dust, and to see how far we've come since then is just incredible. So it's wonderful to be able to speak with you guys today. I wish I could be there in person, hopefully soon. But thank you for taking the time to learn more about Allegiant Stadium. As Janice said, I am the director of sales for private events. So my world really focuses on selling this $1.8 billion building for conferences and conventions and trade shows. And really anytime somebody wants to come and rent a space. So similar to the luncheon that you're in today, we would do events similar to that. So I have Laura here with me today because she really understands the stadium and the community and what this means to Las Vegas. So she's going to help field questions that may not be my expertise. So Laura, did you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thanks, Sam. As Sam said, and that lovely intro, I oversee the concert business that's going to come through the stadium with A-list artists and other awesome events such as dirt shows and soccer, and really supporting the Raiders. So I'm very humbled to be here and also working very closely with Sam and her initiatives. Thank you.
Awesome. So Laura and I both work for ASM Global. So I think it's important to understand where we sit within the building and with the Raiders. So the Raiders and the city has hired ASM to operate the stadium. So our team is made up of the maintenance, the operations crew, really the bones of your getting the game day up and running. And then we also promote the stadium. I sell for private events. Our GM sells concerts, and Laura markets the building. So we don't technically work exactly for the Raiders. So the football questions and the ins and outs of the actual team, we're not as clued in on. But when it comes to the building, that is our specialty. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you this brand new deck that was literally approved by the president of the Raiders yesterday. So you're seeing something that nobody has ever seen before. I have some really cool videos to share, and I'm going to try to take this private events deck and apply it to the stadium as a whole to share some really cool information. So I'll speak for about 15 minutes, and then we'll jump into questions, and I hope we can show you something today that maybe you've never seen before. So with that, I'm going to put my tech hat on and try to share my screen. And we're going to roll right into a video. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Can somebody confirm that they can see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it. Looks good.
Okay.
Start it up.
Here we go. All right, if that doesn't get you excited for football, I don't know what does, but all right. So Allegiant Stadium events are our field of expertise. You'll see a lot of puns. We like to have fun with it. But basically, so Allegiant Stadium is the home of the Las Vegas Raiders and UNLV Rebels. So we'll have those two football teams playing in our building. We will also be a hub for some really, really incredible concerts coming to the city. We're a 65,000 person domed building. So there's an opportunity here that has never been seen before to host these massive, massive events all under one roof. So my job is to sell this building probably 300 days out of the year, and the other 65 will be your concerts, your football games, your really, really massive ticketed events. So venue overview. So we have over 10 event spaces in the building. And when I say event space, what I typically am referring to is these VIP clubs that are on game day are used for, your really, really special ticket holders. So those seats that are, 50-yard line, second row, they usually have access to a really unique club. And on a non-game day, they sit empty. So what we do is we rent them for private events. We can do events from 25 to 65,000 people. So there's really, really cool stuff that's going to happen here. We are less than 1 mile from the Strip. I'm sure everyone here, if you are in Las Vegas, you have seen the big, beautiful building as it's gone up and is now completed. Our team, again, is the sales, event management, and catering team. And we have technically opened. I know open is a unique word to use right now just because of the state of the environment, but I am in the building now. We are starting to do tours, but it's definitely not in the capacity as it would be in a normal environment. Who we are, I want to talk about so the people that make up this building. So when the Raiders came to Las Vegas, there was a good amount of people that came over here from Oakland. So there's a really unique mix in this building of Raiders alumni who have been with the team for 5-10 years. And then they had this mix of fresh blood from different teams throughout the country, and then also hiring people from Las Vegas. So you have a really unique group here. So myself, as Janice mentioned, I've came from teams such as the Cowboys, Redskins, and Dolphins. My sales manager, on the other hand, is from Las Vegas. Laura is from New York. So we have this really, really great mix. And then you see our event management team. I'd like to touch on this. So Ryan and Claudia were from Oakland, Jessica from MetLife, Michael from University of Miami. So we have a really fun mix here. Our food and beverage is managed by Levy. So Levy will manage the catered events. They also do the concessions, and they also manage the relationship between the building and these fun concepts you'll see in the stadium, such as Guy Fieri, Holstein's. There's a few other notable stands you'll see in the building that you're going to recognize. There's a lot of Vegas flair when it comes to the concession stands. So you're going to have way more than just hot dogs and hamburgers. You're going to get some really, really unique options. And I'd like to touch on where we are. So again, I'm almost positive everybody in the room has probably driven by this building, but if you have not, we are right across the street from Mandalay Bay, right across I-15. We are walking distance from the Strip if you're on more of the south side of the Strip, and then we sit right here, right across the 15, like I said. Okay, event spaces. So I'm going to speak a little bit about the building in itself. So it's 1.75 million square feet. It's a giant building that we're still getting lost in. And let's see some photos. So these are renderings from before construction. So you'll actually see a few changes. If you go up to the building now, this sign is gone. They ended up nixing that. There's some subtle changes, but pretty much this is what the building looks like today. Let's see, a few more shots. This is our media mesh. This is about 350 feet long. It was the second biggest screen in Las Vegas, and then Resorts World went and built that big, beautiful screen on the side of their building. So I believe now we are the third largest, but it's still a really, really impactful board. And then this is the photo that I wanted to show you. Our field technically will usually live right here on the back end of the stadium. What you're looking at now is what the back end of the stadium looks like on a game day. So on a game day, this is a big piece of concrete that we're going to do tailgates and some really fun concepts. 9 times out of 10, though, the actual grass field will live on the back end of this stadium. It will live right out here. So we have a concept similar to Arizona's field, where our grass field is outside. There's turf inside, but when the Raiders play, they roll up the turf and we roll in this grass field. It takes about an hour and a half to actually roll it in, and then we rebuild the seats around it. So with that, I'd like to show you a video from our operations VP. Made it very clear that this was 3:15 a.m. in the morning. I think he wanted us all to know that he was up and his team was up at that time doing this. This is a pretty slick video of the field actually rolling into the stadium. And this is a time lapse of about an hour and a half. That's pretty incredible. So this field tray here, I'm gonna show you one more time. This field tray here is 4 feet tall. There will be seats here on the south end of the building. We actually have to pull the seats out, get the field tray in, and then put the seats back in. So when we say it takes a good bit of time to convert from turf to grass, it's not necessarily bringing the grass field in. The bulk of it is really getting these seats out and in. So it's a pretty impressive move. And what we're doing the past 2 weeks we've been in the building is they're doing practice runs to make sure that everything goes smoothly. And the Raiders are actually practicing in the building tomorrow. So they'll be practicing on this grass turf. Let me get back to my slides. Okay. So when we sell the field, or when I sell the field for events, what I'm actually selling is Raiders turf. And so they put turf down because this stadium will do a lot of public tours and really cool, unique things for the public to come check out the building. And when that happens, we wanted a turf down. So there will be a Raiders turf and there will be a UNLV turf. And there also can be concrete. So there's a lot of really cool things we can do in this building. And then this would be a concert setup. So we have a really cool arrangement that we can do for concerts. Raiders locker room. So we do have the privilege of being able to do private events in the Raiders locker room as well. I've been in the NFL for a long time, and really the access into a locker room depends on the team. I've been with teams that said, absolutely not, you cannot go into the locker room. Other teams are more open to it. So the Raiders are open to it, but it's a really, really premium, fun experience. The tour program will go through the locker room. So if you ever want to come check out the locker room, the tour is going to have a really fun, interactive element in there. I'll show you a few of the clubs. They are absolutely stunning. You'll see a lot of our clubs have this really, really sleek black, silver, and white look, which is really fun. It's a really clean look. It's very Vegas. There's some fun lights, cabanas in a lot of the space. So this stadium definitely has, local flair in it. So for example, these are the little cabanas that would overlook a game day. I don't know where else you could get that type of experience. Sorry about that. All right. And then we have smaller clubs. So that was about 1,000-person club. And then we have even smaller clubs, which are VVIP clubs. So these are very, very high-end clubs that hold about 500 people. And they're, if you can see right here, they are right on the edge of the field. So can you imagine watching a game in here and you come in and you're staring at the back of a player? It's pretty cool. It's not always the best view, but the access it's braggable to be down there. And then these are some of the VIP lobbies. And I have one more space I'd like to show you guys. There we go. So the outside of the building, the north end. So this is going to be the end that everybody really enters, because this is the north side of the stadium that really faces the strip. So when you walk up to the stadium, you're going to see this really, really grand entrance. You'll notice I haven't talked about the torch much today. It's really near and dear to the Raiders' heart. It's a memorial torch to the late Al Davis. It's very, very special to the organization. There's a lot of internal conversations about what that's going to look like. So I don't have much to share there, but it's going to be a really, really impressive item that is connected very closely to the Raiders organization. So you'll see more coming from that on through our social channels and through our communications. We have some really, really cool assets in here, such as our boards. You'll have 4 boards on the north end. So there's really not a bad seat in the house. If you were even up here on the 300 level, you have these massive boards. I mentioned that I came from the Cowboys. So the Cowboys had this, I don't know if you've ever seen the board that was right over the field. We don't have that. And I think that's a benefit because you have a really clean line to the field that's just absolutely stunning. And then this giant South video board. I want to talk about the Stadium Tours program, which is going to be, it's going to be a big, big attraction in this city. So you're going to be able to come and walk through the stadium. There's going to be a lot of interactive elements in it. I've heard some really unique things, but guests will be able to go down to the field. They'll be able to go into the Raiders locker room, up to that Coors Light landing where the torch is. So you're going to really get the feel of the stadium. So that's going to be a really fun thing to come. Raiderettes have come with the Raiders from Oakland. So we'll have some new ladies in town that are going to be on the sidelines for the games. I've heard wonderful things about them and that their interaction with the community as well. And Rusher, which is this really cool little guy. This is the Raiders mascot that you'll start seeing a lot of, and alumni as well. So they'll be in the city and here for game days and for private events. I touched on Levy a little bit with food and beverage. So that's really the stadium as a whole and some of the spaces we have available and some of the really cool things that we have. So I'm gonna stop sharing, and I'd love to take any questions that you may have about the building, about what's to come, and Laura and I can tag team some answers for you guys.
Okay, so let me unmute the room in case anybody has some questions there, and then if anybody on Zoom has a question, they can unmute themselves and ask as well. So thank you so very much. I guess if no one else has asked one, I'll start with one. So this is kind of a brand new venue, and I guess you have the opportunity to stick all sorts of AV and virtual reality technology and stuff in place. You know, I know people have talked about lots of different cameras to give different views of the screen. Can you say anything at all about anything unique you've got in there in terms of audio, video, multimedia, or anything else?
I think the sheer square footage of video and ribbon boards we have is really unique. We just have so much real estate with our 4 boards in the north end and the giant board in the south end. We also have that giant media mesh on the side of the stadium, and we'll have a marquee, which you may be able to see right behind me. So the sheer just capabilities that we have in the stadium is going to be really great. Is also state-of-the-art AV, so the audio system is going to be crystal clear. So it's when you come into this venue, it's going to be, you know, a really immersive experience where anywhere you look and go, you're going to hear and really feel what's going on.
So I see the main Lowry's room is unmuted. If they've got some questions, they can just go ahead.
This is Bill Steering. Is it correct that this season there will be no fans in the stadium during any of the football games?
Laura, did you want to take that one?
Yeah, just to confirm, are you asking if there are going to be any fans in the stadium during the football season?
Correct.
That's correct.
Also on the flyer we have here, at the bottom you got something that we don't know, can't figure out what it really is. It says you got 27 DAS masking balls, MAGSING. What is that?
Forgive me, it's actually really hard to hear you. There's a lot of feedback.
I think you're asking about the DAS, which I'm going to try to put on my AV hat.
That's correct, thank you.
I'm going to try to answer this, and please bear with me, but I believe what my IT team has communicated to me is we have the infrastructure in the stadium where if we have, let's say 10, if we have 10 stadiums like Mercedes-Benz and other big buildings have 2 or 3. So I don't know what the exact numbers are, but we have like 5 times the coverage and the capabilities for Wi-Fi, for cell service. So when you come and you have 65,000 people trying to send a text message, in some buildings, that's really hard to do. In this building, you know, you're not going to see any delays in service or anything like that. So that was my non-AV, you know, intellectual response. But from what I know, just the bandwidth itself is going to be really, really impressive and just has never been done before in a building.
Ted McAdam here. This is a very, very mundane, plebeian question. but in most stadiums or public venues around the country for years, the issue of restrooms has been a massive problem. We hate to go to sports events because they have to stand in line. What attention to that detail has been paid by the construction company of this stadium?
So I've been there before. I've been in the long lines in other stadiums. I don't specifically know. I apologize. I can't answer that question. Laura, I don't know if you have any information there.
I don't have something detailed to that nature, but the attention of the ingress and egress with our construction there's been a lot of detail on that with all the different kinds of experiences you'll have in the stadium, including the restrooms. So although we can't really give something fleshed out or thorough, those types of details were very thought of when putting this whole building together. So it is our hope that there won't be those long lines like we normally are used to.
Samantha, can you talk a little bit about the UNLV turf you mentioned? I thought you said there was the tray of turf that comes in and out. For the Rebels, what do? Do they paint the end zone differently, or what do they do for that?
They actually have their own separate turf. So there's two turfs. We have a Raiders turf and we have a UNLV turf. So when UNLV plays, it will be all of their turf, their end zones, their center logo. They have their own.
Is that stacked or outside, or how does that brought in?
I do. I have a fun photo. Maybe I'll send it to you after. But basically, on the ground level in the bowels of the stadium, we have just the entire north side is rolled up turf. They come in 5-yard strips, and they'll roll them and then they'll fork them out, and they're just stacked up in the stadium.
Wow!
But that's different from the grass tray, though, right? That's the turf is different from the grass tray, correct?
Correct. Yeah, the grass tray is what lives outside, and I can't. I mean, I went out and saw it today, and it's beautiful and green. And to grow grass like that in Las Vegas, we have a very, very talented team. Because in my house, in my front yard, you wouldn't be able to say the same thing.
Can you say a word about the parking and transportation? I guess both during the games as well as during events. I imagine it's different.
Yeah, I can speak to it more on an event side. We have 2,200 spaces. I believe that's the figure. So it's significantly smaller amount of parking than what some stadiums offer. I know there's some satellite locations and there's some services to transport people in. But from a private event standpoint, we're doing some really unique things with getting, groups of 20,000 people. Can you imagine getting 30,000 people to a stadium at one time within an hour? There's some really creative conversations that are happening to be able to make that possible. So we have a really robust parking team that's been working on a plan for a very long time to make sure that there's no massive backups at the stadium.
Because they've been talking about possibly extending the monorail to Mandalay Bay, which would be walking distance. And I don't know whether that's figuring in any of your plans or what the timing for that is.
I don't know much about that.
Our club loves to go on tours, and you're talking about tours. When's the earliest opportunity we can arrange for one?
Laura, do you know the answer to when tours open?
Right, so currently, those who are interested in tours are able to sign up on the Allegiant Stadium website. They are fielding all requests in now, and then in the near future, there's going to be a big rollout on how people will be able to take advantage of their signups, and then what the programming is going to be. That is a very hot internal conversation that we're getting ready to roll out with in conjunction with the Raiders. So for anybody who is interested in stadium tours, they will find out through details through being after signing up on that website. So I would highly encourage you to be in the queue to get the latest information on that.
Hello, I have a question. So one of the things the Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the Atlanta Falcons did is when they opened up that stadium, they charged very reasonable prices for like hot dogs, nachos, things like that. Is that something that we can expect when the stadium opens for us to charge reasonable prices as opposed to, or are they going to be Vegas prices and $20 drinks?
I have not seen a price list, so I can't commit to anything. I do know the I heard about like the $2 hot dogs and that really interesting model. I can't say because I haven't seen a price list. I do know we'll have some really unique Las Vegas restaurants in there. Laura, do you have anything additional about that?
So just like the tours, our food offerings are also a very hot item that we are really excited to start introducing to the public of what's going to be here. So I do know that our Levy are our restaurant partners, and they have put together some very cool pricing on some very cool items. So it's going to be mirrored in similar ways like that. So expect to have some really cool offerings at good rates.
We have time for one more question. Do we have one more?
Okay, I'll go. And I wasn't sure if I quite got Stewie's question, but is there any talk of plans for either a flyover or possibly a monorail to get folks from the stadium over onto the strip side? Good one.
I'm not aware of anything like that. Laura, are you?
In our scope, we're not talking to the monorail like that right now. I think if so, we will know more in the future, but we don't know at this time.
All right. Thank you very much, Samantha. That was wonderful.
Thank you guys.
And our club has a tradition of giving a share what you can award. We're going to make a donation to the USO Community Service Program in your name. Thank you for this presentation.
Oh, wonderful.
That is wonderful. Thank you. I hope to meet you in person very soon.
Thank you so much.
Now, if you could reach down, I'll give you this virtual share what you can.
Put your hand up. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to put my email in the chat. If anybody has any follow-up questions or anything we can do, don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you for that offer. I'm sure we will take it up. And if there are no other questions, thank you again for attending the meeting.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye.